Go ahead, buddy. I'll tell them how much I think. I'll see you when
Talk about the state of your game right now, going into the summer hard court season.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's actually at a very good place right now. I mean, you never really know until you play your first match on hard court. I mean, it's been a while since Miami. I haven't played on hard court at all. So at the same time, I'm feeling really fit. I'm feeling really strong. I've been practicing well, and on top of that, I'm very eager. So I think you combine all those things, and it in the past it's resulted in a lot of good success for me during the summer hard court season. So I feel like this year is no different, and I've worked hard, and I'm just I'm ready to go.
John, I'm Liz with WFMY.
Yeah.
Coming to the Winston-Salem Open, it's home for you. How exciting is that every time?
It's very exciting. And last year when I wasn't able to compete, it was very disappointing as well. But for me, coming home, I've always played well here. I've played this twice, and I haven't lost yet. So there's something about really being at home. It helps me so much, and having the crowd on my side and really cheer me on. It's a home court advantage for sure. So I have that advantage, and that's one of the main reasons I've done so well in this tournament. And I'm looking forward to it in a few weeks' time. I'm certainly not thinking about it right now, but I have a lot of tournaments before then. But I can't wait to get back here.
John, are you at all surprised at how well this tournament has done? I know you said you were surprised that there's even a tournament here.
Yeah.
But are you surprised that it's been able to kind of continue like this?
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't say surprised the tournament here. I just never thought a big time tournament like this could come. But I'm not surprised. I just know that the Triad area supports tennis so well, and a lot of people play tennis. And I just know from growing up, playing junior tennis and my mom playing tennis, so forth and so on. It's a great sports town, and it's a great tennis town. And that's Greensboro, High Point, Winston-Salem, and really this state in general. So I'm not surprised. It's a great week during the year. It's good on the calendar. The weather's great. The new facility is amazing. The players get to use the Wake Forest locker room, so the facilities are state of the art, and everyone that has played this tournament loves to play this tournament. I think that's one of the main reasons that the field is always so tough.
Talk a little bit about that, sort of the traction that this tournament is getting with other players.
Yeah, it's getting a lot of traction. It's gaining a lot of steam. I can't find anyone that can say a bad thing about this tournament. As I said, the facilities are awesome. Even the courts outside of center court are great, and it's always have a lot of atmosphere on those courts as well. So on top of that, it's a very important tune-up for the U.S. Open. So your last chance to get some matches in before the really big one in New York. So for me, I love this tournament, but everyone else does as well.
You talk about the U.S. Open. 2 years ago, you won here. You got the U.S. Open, lost in the round of 32.
Yeah.
Last year, you rested a little bit, didn't
Yeah.
play. Same result, I think, to the same guy.
Yeah.
What is your thought process as you head into this tournament, leading into the U.S. Open?
Well, to be honest, I haven't thought too much about it right now. Last year, I didn't choose to rest. I chose to rest because I absolutely had to. I was a little bit hurt. But you never really know how it's going to work out. I didn't play last year, but sometimes you can just run up against a guy who's just playing very well, and I feel like that was the case the last 2 years. When 3 years ago, right? When I won this, I made the quarterfinals. So it goes both ways, really. So if I could have a similar result-ish like I did 3 years ago or even 2 years ago, it'd be great. A lot of people look at maybe not want to play the week before because they want to rest up. But as you said, 3 years ago, I won this tournament and played a lot of matches, played some close matches, and I made the quarterfinals up there. So this tournament has set me up very well in the past.
John, you mentioned the tournaments leading up to the U.S. Open. This part of the season is sort of a grind for you. You got 5 tournaments, is that right? How do you deal with the grind of it?
Yeah, well, you just got to – it's cliche. I just focus one at a time, really. I think another thing that does help is a lot of in these tournaments. I'm seeded in, for instance, Atlanta. I'm not playing my first match till Thursday, and the tournament starts today. So that helps me out a little bit. and the same with in Washington D.C. as well, and even Winston-Salem. If you're seeded, you get a bye. You're not playing, I guess, as much, but you have to take it by ear and one tournament at a time. And sometimes little things can happen. Last year I lost first round in Montreal, which I wasn't too happy about at all, but that gave me the chance to rest up and then go to Cincinnati, where I played extremely well. So I've no qualms about being entered in all these tournaments right now, and the goal is to stay as fit and healthy as possible and play a lot of matches.
You've had some success in all 5 of these tournaments too, right?
Yeah.
Is it hard to? Would it be hard not to play one of these?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly would be. And what would prevent that, I guess, would be some sort of physical ailment, like an injury, like I had last year. And that came because I was playing a lot of matches, but I have had success in really all these tournaments. It's more so. I mean, I'm home, Toronto. I'm in North America for the most part, and I'm home. But I really like the surface as well. I think it suits my game. It's what I grew up on, and so if you combine all those factors, there's some good reasons why I've done well in the past.
You mentioned that conditioning is the name of the game for you now. Talk about your commitment to conditioning and what role has it played in you becoming a top 10 player? Yeah,
it's a huge role. I remember when I first left college, I thought I was pretty fit, but I wasn't. I needed to get stronger, and I remember when I started playing a lot on the Pro Tour, both my knees were hurting. I just wasn't strong enough to really withstand playing so many matches, and that's something I've always worked on, and I'm still working on. I still feel like I can get stronger, and I've always been a late bloomer as well. So for me, I mean, I really didn't feel like I started growing in my body till I was like 25 or 26. It sounds crazy, but that really was the case for me. So I spend a lot of time in the gym. I try to keep my lower body, my core, my shoulder, the main parts of tennis, and I try to keep that as healthy as possible. I travel with someone that full time that keeps me healthy. I really have become a very true professional as far as that goes. I don't really I don't miss any beats when it comes to anything like that, because I know for me, I have to stay healthy just as any player. If you stay healthy, the results will take care of themselves on the court.
A lot of players, the older they get, the more they appreciate that side of it. Is that a sign of maturity, do you think?
I do think it is, but it's also for me, it's encouraging to see nowadays players in their 30s doing very well. I think the landscape of men's tennis has changed drastically. In the 90s and the early 2000s, you're 28 years old, that was kind of, you're like an NFL running back. Right. It's like your career seems to be over, but that's changed now because everyone is so committed to staying healthy and staying fit, and that's one of the reasons why there's so many guys in 30 and older in the top 100, top 50 in the world. The sport has changed where your career lasts a lot longer, and I know that. And in order for my career to last as long as I possibly want it to, I need to take care of myself as best as I can, and that's what I'm doing.
The Mahout match and then Mateau to a degree, what impact did that have on you?
Yeah.
Is it like got to get in better shape, or hey, I'm in pretty good shape?
Well, and it's one of I felt like I was in pretty good shape to be able to withstand that, but that match that wrecked me I think it was in 2010. I actually thought I was younger then. I was 3 days after the match. I was like, oh, I feel pretty good. Let's go practice. Then I played in Atlanta. I remember soon after that, and that was before this tournament was here. And it was 300 degrees on the court, and I made the finals, and I was like, I was so tired, and I finally ran out of gas. I had to pull out of some tournaments, and I went to Cincinnati, another big tournament. I sprained my ankle. I think all of that was a cumulative effect of that match. So it really took me the whole rest of that year after that match. I mean, physically and mentally as well. Everyone's talking about it. It was being brought up all the time. It wore on me. So it really didn't take until a certain point in 2011 that I was finally over that match.
I've read that you concentrate more on legs than lifting. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I guess it's lifting weights lower body wise. to try to keep my legs as strong as possible. If everything, I think, as any athlete would tell you, especially a big athlete, and I've, a lot of guys my height and my size, whatever the sport is, are susceptible to injury. But if I stay strong, it protects my knees. I've had a few knee things pop up here and there, but I feel extremely fit right now. I have nothing bothering me, and that's because I'm spending a lot of time in the gym.
How much could you bench when you got out of college?
I still can't bench much at all. I mean, my arms are so long. That's such a disadvantage when I got a bench press. But I'm not too worried about the bench press for tennis. Tennis players come in a locker room. It's not like an NFL locker room. We all got little bird chests, and so it's very different. Yeah.
Has anything changed with Mike as your coach, training-wise, compared to what Craig was doing?
No. I mean, a little bit here and there. Yeah. I guess the one of the differences is, he's actually not on the road and not on the practice court with me at all the time, which I really don't think is necessary. I think I'm mature enough now where I can, I can finish practice without a coach on the court, and I can, Mike actually won't be in Atlanta next week as well, and he wasn't in Atlanta last year, and I won that tournament. So I've gotten mature enough now that I think I can play without a coach on the road. He's still certainly my coach, but for me, I have someone on the road with me at all times that keeps me healthy, and my strength coach home at Tampa, I would be lost without him as well. So I think there's a lot of pieces to my puzzle, a lot of pieces of my team that I feel like I really have to have with me at all time, and having my coach is super important. But I think the stuff we do outside of tournament weeks now is more important than during the tournament week.
Is that Jason you're talking about?
No, Kyle. Kyle down in Tampa I've trained with for 6-7 years now.
Just one last thing. Coconut water.
Yeah.
Do you prefer it over Gatorade or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, I had an issue in the past with cramping because I sweat a lot, and I've learned it's another thing. I've gotten a lot more mature, and I'm putting the right stuff, especially during the summer where it's so hot and you're playing a sport and you don't really get a break from the sun. And you sit on the changeovers. When you're out on the court, you're just baking out there, and I'm sweating a lot. And so that has a lot of potassium and magnesium and sodium. I put extra salt in my drinks before. I'll drink like a coconut water mix before I go to bed at night, and so I'm just feeling as hydrated as I possibly can. I know it puts me at ease knowing that I can go out on the court, and no matter how hot it is, I'm going to be able to withstand that because I'm putting the right stuff in my body.
Any sponsorship yet from coconut water?
No, I mean, a few things here or there. I won't. Yeah.
Andy used to get this question a lot about American tennis in the state. Is there any simple answer to that? I mean, I think you're the only one in the top 50.
Yeah.
I mean, is there a simple answer, or is it just
to why it's not?
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't explain it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it by any means. It's not pretty, American men's tennis right now. It just isn't. I think American tennis fans, I guess, were a little bit spoiled in the past, in the 80s and the 90s, and when you have Macker O'Connors and all those guys playing, then you have Sampras, Agassi, Courier, Chang. Everyone was in the top 10. I think American tennis fans are used to having the bare minimum 3 guys occupy spots in the top 10 in the world. The game has changed. It seems like a lot of the Europeans are dominating, and just how it is for whatever reason right now. But honestly, that's not really any of my concern. I worry about myself, and I'm very proud of what I've done in my career. Reaching the top 10 in the world, really, I'm almost back there again. It's a tough thing to do, and it's something that I never imagined I could see myself doing. I was never, pegged to be the next #1 American tennis player either. It's all just has come to me, and I'm very proud of what I've done. I'm taking it all in stride, but I just worry about myself. It's sort of a selfish sport we're in, but that's what I got to do.
How would you rate your year so far?
Yeah, it's been really. I mean, I don't study too much, but I feel like I've had a better year this year than I have in the past. I've obviously done extremely well in the summer, the last few years, and it's really sort of saved my season. Like last year I doing decent, nothing great, and the summer season rolls around, and I start winning a lot of matches and really save my season. But I feel like coming into this summer that's really not the case. I've had a pretty good year, and at the same time I know that my favorite part of the schedule is coming up. I've done better overseas, which has sort of plagued me in the past. Not doing as well at the clay court tournaments over there, but I did better. I just can certainly do better next year as well. But I've had a pretty good year. I've stayed pretty healthy and outside at the very beginning of the year, but I'm healthy now and I'm ready to go.
What is it about playing in North America as opposed to Europe? You look back in your career, you're so much better on this side of the ocean.
Yeah, it is. I think I don't think I'm any different than a lot of athletes or teams in general. I see teams that just play better at home than they do on the road. It's a comfort level. It's something about going to bed and like watching SportsCenter and then turn it off and going to bed that kind of helps when you're in Europe. I'm missing all the sports, and so find myself in the middle of the night looking up scores. So no, but I'm just I don't know. I'm just comfortable. It's what I'm used to, and I think it just helps me a lot. But at the same time, playing on hard courts that I feel like little grittier hard courts in the U.S. it suits me very well. It's one of the reasons I've done well at Indian Wells. Also, it's a very good court for me.
That said, do you find a difference in terms of fan support for you when you're playing here?
Yeah, of course, and yeah.
How does that factor in? Or does it?
Yeah, it factors in so much. I mean, you take this tournament for example. I mean, I easily could have not won this tournament twice, but the fans have helped me so much. And in any tournament I play in the U.S., I have the fans on my side. It's really not like that when I play overseas sometimes. So it helps a lot. It's a huge home court advantage for me. Just as any team plays better in front of their home fans, I tend to play better in front of fans that are predominantly cheering me on.
Any extra pressure in that respect? What are you, 10-0 here?
Yeah, I have. No, there's no extra pressure. I try not to think about that too much. I mean, I know I've done extremely well in the last 4 or 5 summers or something like that. But you don't want to. I don't look at defending points or anything like that. You can't think like that. I mean, tennis is a tough sport. You do out at a tournament one year, you don't do as well. The next year, boom, your ranking drops. So it's like you can't think like that. You got to look at it as year to date, and just it's a whole new season.
It's a travel world.
Mm-hmm.
Get home as much as you would like to, I'm sure. What's the number one thing you do when you come home?
I eat. I eat my mom's cooking. So that's what I'm going to do in about 45 minutes or so too. So I'll be home soon, and that's it. Even though I'm only in North Carolina, the Triad area, for really not even 24 hours, I'm going to enjoy this time. And I had just a short little trip to Atlanta, and I feel at home right now. And I don't get back here that much except for the tournament and the holidays and whatnot. So it's good to be back.
So the keys to your 2 wins here has been your mom's cooking. Is that
No, seriously, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's another advantage I have. I'm chilling at home and eating my mom's food, and other guys are at the hotel, going out to dinner. People messing up their orders, I don't have that going on. So,
what's the favorite thing she fixes, and is she fixing it tonight?
I gotta talk to her about that. Something with a sweet potato. I always recommend that. I eat that all the time. She honestly, everything she makes, I eat. She spoiled us growing up. Never with material things, but when it came to food, and I never was hungry ever. So I always went to bed satisfied. So that's a good mom.
Do you have any stats on body fat and stuff since you've gotten, your fitness and everything? Or do you weigh a little bit less than when you first started?
I actually weigh way more, but it's with less body fat. So I put on muscle. It's good. I've had people come up to me and tell me that I look skinny, I guess, like in my face, but I've lost a little bit of that like baby fat, I guess you could say, and I've they tell me I look skinnier, but I know I haven't lost weight. So that's a good thing. I'm not trying to lose weight either. So that I've put on quite a bit of muscle. Because when I left college, I was you know, like, who knows, 210. You know, I put on almost 30 pounds. It's a lot.
Some people list you at 238 and others at 250.
Yeah, no, it's 238. I've seen that 250, 6'9", 250. It's 6'10", 238. So whatever, you know.
Maybe that was your NFL.
Yeah, exactly. It was my tight end weight.
What is the official height? What are
6'10".
You are?
Yeah.
6'10",
230, 236 to 239. You know, depending on how much water I drank that morning. So it's all water weight. So.
With a PGA commercial, they have Bubba gaining weight when he eats a donut.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, you gotta see it.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Is it recent?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's talking about how up to date the PGAtour.com.
How they're on it at all times.
You know, it's like
Okay.
when he takes a bite of donut and it goes from
Gains a
180 to
pound.
181.
That's
something
good.
like
Yeah, I
that.
haven't seen that. I'll probably see it soon, I'm sure.
And I know I talked to you at Augusta, but what's your overall assessment now that you've been there? You were there for a couple days.
Yeah.
At the Masters. I mean, do you want to go back and see that again?
Yeah, I would.
was
I would
pretty
for
cool.
sure. Oh, it's so cool. Yeah, I'd never been before to the tournament, so it's amazing. I mean, it's you can really draw a lot of similarities, and you can compare it to Wimbledon for sure. I mean, it's that prestigious. It has that feel to it, you know. So it's a cool place.
Any other questions? Okay, so we're gonna, John, if you don't mind, we're gonna do a couple of little individual things with
Yeah.
the guys. They do the different stories. So